And welcome back to Bentonville West, home of the Wolverines and the site of Game 4 of the Great American Conference Softball Tournament here in 2017. I'm Joey McWilliams, joined by Darian Harris here as we are getting ready for our second game at this site today. Two sites for the GAC tournament this year, and it has already been a pitcher's duel in our first one as we saw Arkansas Tech defeat Southern Nazarene in the opening round game. 2-0 was the final. Jalissa Gum, the winner in the circle, and Caitlin Brown picked up the loss for Southern Nazarene. Gum wound up with 12 strikeouts on the afternoon. A pretty dominating performance all the way around. She actually scored a run as well. Game-winning RBI, a triple from Ashton Sangster in the fourth inning, and that was pretty much it for the scoring for the day. Pretty solid effort from both these pitchers. Tech comes away with a couple of runs to win. Our game right now between the 5th seed East Central and the number 4 seed Arkansas-Monticello. East Central batting first here as it is about 58 degrees outside, maybe up to 60 at last count. It's warming up some here as the pitching is as well. And for Monticello, it's going to be Kendra Coleman in the circle, a freshman. ERA of 1.6. She's 20-7 on the season, and she is facing Alyssa Taylor. Starting lineup for East Central looks like this. Of course, Taylor, she's starting. She's the leadoff. She's a first baseman, and she's batting .401 on the year. Swings at that one, and that's her first strike, 2-1 the count. Also, Clarisha Clemens batting second. She's the right fielder. Eleni Allison, the second baseman, batting third. Cleaning up is Mariah Avey, shortstop. Fifth batter is Brescia Crawford, the catcher. Sixth batter, Andrea Hamrick, as that one hit, and it's going to drop just in front of Bolter in center field. And just like that, Alyssa Taylor is on base, makes it to first. Seventh batter for East Central is Nikki Herron. She is the designated hitter. Batting eighth, Haley Hyatt, the left fielder, and batting ninth, Lindsey Walker, the third baseman. So we already have a runner on base here. We're steps ahead of where we were in the last game. Yeah. So much in that game going by. And, of course, in the circle we mentioned Kendra Coleman. And you've had a chance, you played against some of these players as well. Didn't get a chance to play against Coleman. She's a freshman and coming in, and really pretty good performance for Coach Alvey's squad.
Right. Kendra Coleman, just as a freshman, she ranks second in the conference in earned run average, lowest earned run average, just under Harding. Just under Harding's pitcher, Autumn Humes, who has a 1.23, and Kendra Coleman sits at 1.25. So.
And that one popped up right back over to the pitcher. Clemens is out, and so now batting for East Central, Eleni Allison, the second baseman, a sophomore. It is a beautiful day here. It's absolutely fantastic. If you look at it from our perspective, of course, we are in the booth now, but the wind is pretty much intense. I'm not going to say incredible. We've seen some incredible winds in Oklahoma and Arkansas in the last 7 days or so, but it's intense, blowing out of the north. It is coming in from right field, and so anytime the ball is floated that way, it's going to be a floater. I mean, it doesn't matter the intensity it seems to hit. It would take a powerful, powerful hit to get over a right fielder's head. And that one right back up to us in the press box. Allison, a sophomore, batting .270 on the season. I say the wind is important or big. It's also big for the fans too, because it feels a lot colder outside this booth with that wind blowing than what it looks like. Just an absolutely beautiful day. You can probably see the flags in the background beyond the left field wall here at Bentonville West, and they are just absolutely full extension. And there you see it there from that view as well. Nice job from our crew here in Bentonville West. A little bit of an apportioned crew, an abbreviated crew. Another foul tip behind is led by our producer Jason, as well as Cambry, Yoshi, Dallas on camera work today. Darian and I up here in the booth. Yeah,
I will say it's definitely harder sitting in the colder weather than it is playing in it. I mean, when you're out there, the adrenaline and everything kind of warms you up a little bit. You just don't think about it. You just play through it. And up here, I've been shivering the whole time.
Darian.
I knew I'd faced her before.
And another foul-tipped ball, and forgive me, mispronounced freshman as senior. I apologize. For Coleman. Yeah, you have seen her. Well, I knew that I'd seen her before, but sometimes I look at the numbers in front of me and go with them.
Yeah, Kendra Coleman was definitely the dominant pitcher that they always threw against me when I played, or us, our team when we played against them. So she's definitely always been solid. She's been their go-to pitcher. She throws a lot of she'll stay away from you a lot, and then she has her off-speed too. That's been pretty effective all year, and for her in her 4 years of playing. So,
well, staying with this at bat, which has gone on for maybe as long as the first inning combined. Allison dribbles that one to first base. The 3 unassisted there for Freeman, the put out. It's going to go ahead and send Taylor on over to second base now. 2 down in the inning. And that brings up Mariah Avey. Just got word about Mariah Avey as the press release has just come out. She was named an academic all-district player, COSIDA academic for District 7, first team honoree. And Avey now batting cleanup for East Central. A sophomore hitting .274 on the season. Played in and started 52 of the games as that one's lined back to third base. And the catch is made by Parker. We have 1 hit, 1 left on, no runs scored, and no score on the board. Back with Monticello in just a moment here on the GAC Sports Network.
The GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference. Presented by Crafton Tall and Subway.
I knew Arkansas Tech had an impressive history,
but I didn't know that my professors would look out for my future.
I knew I'd be throwing fastballs on the field, but I didn't know I'd be on the fast track to physical therapy school.
I knew my art professors had years of experience, but I didn't know that I would get real-world experience before graduation.
I knew Tech was close to home, but I didn't know it would feel like home.
Tech has one of the highest graduation rates in the state. Come take a tour of campus and discover what else you don't know about Tech.
Well, as Kendra Coleman, the senior, is able to sit down 3 batters after Taylor gets on base, Monticello will come to bat now, and Coleman will be cleaning up. Let's look at the Arkansas-Monticello lineup really quickly. Monticello 33-21 on the year, 26-16 in the GAC under Coach Alvy Early. Mackenzie Rice is leading off. She's the second baseman. Corey Parker, third baseman, batting second. Batting third, Miranda Clendenin, a shortstop. Coleman, we mentioned, is cleaning up. She's the pitcher. Kaylee Freeman, first baseman, batting fifth. Batting sixth is Jordan Herbner, the left fielder. Seventh is Ashton Curry, the catcher, batting eighth. The designated hitter, Kaylin Bolick, and batting ninth, Kaylee Bolter, the center fielder. In the circle for East Central is Kelby Crelia, 3.32 ERA, 13-8 on the year. This is her 30th appearance and 25th start. And she's able to record a strike with her first pitch. And that one comes in just a little high. 1-1 now. Again, these two teams met in the season-ending series.
Yeah.
East Central no stranger to that because East Central last year came in to the conference tournament facing Southern Arkansas, a team that it had been swept by to close out the regular portion of the season and then picked up the loss against Southern Arkansas in the first round of the tournament. This time, tables may have turned just a little bit for East Central to the Tigers' advantage because East Central comes in off a series in which it won 3 of 4 against Arkansas-Monticello, and this being in essence, the 5th game of the series. Comebacker right past Creeley. It goes all the way into center field. And Rice leads off with a single.
Yeah, I will say that's something that's definitely hard to do. I mean, it's hard to beat a team 4 times in a row as it is. I mean, it's hard to beat. It's just difficult, and then having to turn around and play them the very next weekend. It's just, from my experience last year, I mean, you would think that it'd be easier because you've seen the same people 5 times in a row, 4 times in a row, but it doesn't make it any better, because then they know how to prepare for you. They just got done, it's fresh on their mind. They just got done facing you, and they know what you have, you know what they have, and you kind of have to switch up your game plan a little bit and go in with a different approach. And that's something that hopefully we can see from both of these teams today.
Senior Corey Parker able to advance the runner. A sacrifice bunt there for Parker will move Rice on to second base, and that brings up Miranda Clendenin.
Honestly, that's all you could ask for in this situation. Both of these teams getting their leadoff hitter on. I mean, that's what you could expect from the leadoff hitter, them getting on, and they did a good job of doing their job. I mean, that's why they're there. And then your 2-hole being able to get on or get a sacrifice bunt down to move the runner, and that's something that ECU didn't do in the top of their inning. So
Clendenin, a freshman, and she is the shortstop today. That one a little high. 2-0 the count. Don't forget, you can also be tuned in to the other game going on right now in the GAC softball tournament. Top seed Harding taking on Ouachita right now at the Tiger Athletic Complex. And if you're watching this online, you can go to GACSportsNetwork.com and pick that one up. Talked about Arkansas Tech winning here at Bentonville West. Southern Arkansas picking up the win at the Tiger Complex in the earlier game, 7-2 over Henderson State. Monticello, 26-16. Pretty much one of the top 4 teams in the conference throughout the season. There were 4 teams at the top of the standings, as got the bat on that one. Avey able to throw over to Taylor, and just in time. 2 down as Taylor makes her way all the way over now, Rice all the way over to third base. It brings up Kendra Coleman. Harding, Southern Arkansas, Arkansas Tech, and Monticello all at the top of the standings throughout the season. There pretty much was a gap from those 4 teams and everyone else. And swinging on the first pitch is Coleman. That one's high. It's going to float, foul, but still the catch is made. Allison able to come over and make that catch, and so the inning is retired as Creeley able to get 3 outs after the first batter gets on base for Rice. And so we come to the end of the first inning. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left on, and no score. It's 0-all at the end of the first inning. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
So, can I see you again?
I'm free on Black Forest Ham Day.
There's a Subway 350 sub of the day to help you remember life's important days.
We got married in June.
On Tuna Day.
Every day a different 350 6-inch sub. Every day of the week. Every sub contains no artificial flavors. At just $3.50, it's a great sub at a great price.
Her name is Terry.
She was born on Sweet
Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day.
The 350 sub of the day. Every day of the week at Subway.
I knew that Arkansas Tech would help me stand out from the crowd.
But I didn't know I'd be standing out in front of the crowd.
I knew I wanted to be a part of Greek life.
But I didn't know Tech would change my life.
I knew Tech would help me become a leader.
But I didn't know Tech would lead me to graduate school.
I knew my art professors had years of experience, but I didn't know that I would get real-world experience before graduation.
It's easy to see why more than 12,000 students choose Tech. Come take a tour of campus and discover what else you don't know about Tech.
back here at Bentonville West, home of the Wolverines. And Coleman back in the circle. For Coach Alvey early in his 20th season, and he has become the winningest softball coach in the state of Arkansas. As that one off the netting in front of the press box almost came back and hit the home plate hump on the top of the head. Coach early now at 1,167 wins. He got to 1,162, and he was able to top the mark held by Norm DeBren, former University of Arkansas Razorback. Getting on bat on that one is Crawford, and that one goes foul. Brecia Crawford getting 257 on the year. Starting the inning for East Central, Crawford, Hamrick, and Heron. Of course, actually with Coach Irving as Crawford takes that one foul the other direction. Actually started his time at Monticello back in 1979, coaching the women's basketball team. It's safe to say that truly he is an institution in Monticello. And this one goes back the other direction, so Crawford now just deciding to go whichever field she chooses to. I would say as a right-handed batter today, Darian, it would probably be better to go to left. She's going to have the wind. If she could get a piece of it, she could take it out.
Yeah, I agree. And but also with pitchers know that on the other side of it, so they see the win, they know their win, and they're trying to play, put their game plan together. And it looks like Kendra Coleman and all the pitchers today has been trying to stay outside for the most part, and then not really try to come too far inside just because of the win and everything. And then when you get 2 strikes on you, like she has, she's trying to battle things off, and you can't really let those pitches on the outside corner go because you will get a called third strike. And
yeah.
So she's doing a good job of fouling them off till she gets the pitch that she wants.
Well, I believe she is about, 8 pitches in on this one.
By all means, if it comes inside, hammer it.
3-2 the count. As Crawford, the first batter here in the top of the second inning. And couldn't quite get a piece on that one. Top of the barrel there. And that one floats over. Parker able to make the easy out as the ball went just foul. So one down here. It's going to bring up Andrea Hamrick. Hamrick batting .233 on the year. One of only 2 players for Coach Anderson to have played in and started all 55 games. That along with Alyssa Taylor.
East Central not afraid to steal some bases. Hamrick leads the team in that category with 12 of 13, so you put her on base, you might have a chance to scratch a run.
1-0 the count. And that one, she fouled it off her left foot. Tried to get the running start on that one. Got a piece of it and went down off that left foot.
That's the most painful thing ever. It hurts so bad. That actually happened to me my junior year against Michelle Sorensen, Henderson's pitcher, in the first game, and I fouled one off into my foot. She already throws hard as it is.
I was going to say physics there with the way she throws the ball. I would imagine that would come off pretty sound.
It hit nothing else but my foot. Like it got all foot, and I didn't get to play the next game. I couldn't even walk.
Shows bunt for just a moment then. And takes a swing of that one, fouls it back. Count still 1-2, 1 down here in the top of the second inning. Talked about Monticello 33-21 overall. East Central 31-24 overall. And got the bat on that one. It's going to float, shift directions, and finally caught by Herbner out in left field. And she had to really relocate to try to find where that one was coming down. Looked like it might have found the gap. On a less windy day, that would have found the gap between left and center as it was. Stayed up in the air long enough for Herbner to make the catch, and so with Hamrick retired now, Nikki Heron comes up. Heron batting .286 on the season.
Now that's a good thing about these outfielders, being able to know their wind and read, just where the ball's going to where you think it's going to go initially on a normal windy day. Probably not where it's going to go today with these intense wind. So it was good on her part of being able to just wait over there, not necessarily running over to where she thought the ball was going to be caught. She just let it kind of drift to her and was able to make the catch.
2 down here in the top of the second inning. You know, northern Arkansas area as a whole took some pretty fierce winds last weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Blew through Oklahoma as well. Friday was just such a great day. I mean, if you could get the softball games in on Friday, and actually Coach Weber was talking about that Southern Nazarene, our previous game. She said, we just moved senior day from Saturday to Friday because we didn't know what was going to happen. Ultimately, those games were canceled too. Friday, a great day, and then everything changed. And that one is going to stay fair for Heron. And she will stay at first, just inside the left field line. And Nikki Heron, with 2 outs, gets on base for East Central. That'll bring up Haley Hyatt. Hyatt batting 179 on the year. Lays down the bunt, and the throw to first is in time, and that will bring an end to this inning. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left on base, and the score is still 0-all, and we head to the bottom of the second inning. GAC Softball Tournament postseason edition here in 2017 continues on the GAC Sports Network.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
Southern Nazarene University was just ranked the best college in the state of Oklahoma by Money Magazine. That's big news, but it's not a surprise to us. Money ranks SNU as one of the top 50 colleges you can actually get into, and in the top 50 most affordable private colleges in the nation. Why travel when Southern Nazarene University is right here in Bethany, Oklahoma? Inspired academic excellence in a success-driven environment. Southern Nazarene University, the best college in Oklahoma.
With the $3.50 sub of the day at Subway, there's never been a better time to try something deliciously different. Because every day of the week, you can now get a featured 6-inch Subway sub for just $3.50. So mix up your lunchtime routine and treat yourself to the endless flavor combinations at Subway. The $3.50 sub of the day. We took an already great lineup and made it even better. A better price, great taste, and no artificial flavors. The $3.50 sub of the day, only at Subway.
Bottom of the second now for Monticello. It's going to be Freeman, Herbner, and Curry. As Crelia still in the circle now. Kaylee Freeman batting .217 on the year. A freshman from the Colony. Hits that one soundly, and it's going to find the gap. Drops just in front of the center fielder, and Bolter able to step in off the 1 hop. Not allowed to go any farther out. You know, Darren, we were talking about the wind, and it clearly is an issue now as for Monticello. Jordan Herbner coming to bat. Herbner, the left fielder. I mean, even the balls that are hit solid, the liners, and we've seen a couple of those that have just sent solid to second base, and by the time it makes it to the second baseman, it's slowed down enough where it's just an easy catch.
Right. I mean, that's kind of the advantage going into these games as hitters. I mean, you got to know that just as long as you get the barrel on the ball and put the ball in play, then, I mean, the wind, it's going to take care of itself most of the time, and that's kind of what we've seen today. We've seen a lot of balls hit in the air, and they just carry or find grass out in there, and so.
Jordan Herbner, freshman from Benton, just almost got the barrel on that one. It rolled foul. She'll get another opportunity and shows bunt again. This one pulls it to the right side. The throw beyond first base, and Herbner makes it. Freeman is going to go all the way around, and she will come in for the first run of this ball game. Herbner gets on base on the errant throw as Taylor could not make the catch at first. And we see this again. Here's the bunt. She goes to the right side this time. The throw beyond what Taylor could catch, and Herbner's going to make it all the way around to third. Crawford had a tough angle, too, to make that throw as well, to not, nail the runner in the back of the head. Just sent it a little bit wide.
That was a beautifully placed bunt. I mean, there's not a better position on the field you could have placed that bunt. And, I mean, it worked out in their favor because they were able to get both of them on. So
a little bit of discussion now. Coach Early talking things over now as Ashton Curry will come to bat. She's hitting .247 on the season for the Cotton Blossoms. Curry, a junior from Benton. Back-to-back batters. Played their high school ball at Benton here in Arkansas.
Interesting.
One a freshman, one a junior. Probably caught each other along the way in high school. So Herbner at third now. And the wind, if it's possible, seems to have picked up some here. I shouldn't say that. I know without a doubt it's possible. And a bunt laid down again. She's going to reach base, Will Curry. But Herbner has to stay. Another well-placed bunt. And this one, the result's different, but the bunt different, but it was exactly really what they needed. I mean, still nobody out. Herbner in great position at third place, in scoring position. You get Curry on base as well. And now things have to change up a little bit. Coach Destiny Anderson in her 11th season with East Central coming out to talk things over with her infield.
Yeah, just placing the bunt down the – I mean, you could definitely tell that they work on it, something that they work on in practice, and just because they've executed it so well. But being able to place the bunt down the line, down the first base line like they've been doing, it kind of sets things up for the defense to make a mistake in a way, as we saw in not this past bunt, but the first bunt that went over second baseman's head. I mean, you're having to throw over the runner and try to make it to first base for the out, and sometimes that's difficult to do. And basically just being able to lay it down and put it in play, I mean, good things happen whenever you do that.
Well, Monticello putting themselves in a place where good things can happen here. Runners on the corner now, and it will bring up Kaylin Bolick. Bolick, a freshman, hitting just .125 on the season.
This is East Central's Monticello's first run to be scored off of Kelby Crelia. Kelby Crelia.
Yeah, she's had a pretty solid effort against Monticello this year, and actually, for East Central, she's not the only one. Tierra Skaggs threw a shutout against Monticello as well. But high in the air, and it is brought in. Crawford able to come up, get up and under that one, and she records the first out. So Bullock is retired, and Kaylee Bolter at bat for Monticello. Bolter, a sophomore from Plano, Texas, hitting .225 on the year. Runner still in the corner, one down.
Yeah, Kelby Crelia was she got two of the three wins for East Central. In last week's 4-game series, she shut Monticello out twice with 1-0 wins. So
Curry finds her way over to second base. Crawford looked like it might be a throw, but it was easily just a throw back to Crelia at the circle, and this bunt will roll out of bounds just inside the first base. So the runners go back with one down. And 1-1 the count. Once again showing bunt and thinking better of it. So it's 2-1 the count now. And if the Tigers could get out of this inning with giving up just one run, have to call that a success. But even at this point. Monticello wanting to force the issue here. Herbner at third, Curry at second. And the 9-hole in Bolter, seeing a 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. And foul tip on the bunt. Full count.
It's like Creeley has been resorting to that rise ball the past 4 pitches as the hitter is squared around to bunt. Her last 4 pitches, Bolter has squared around to bunt. Her last 4 pitches, trying to get her to. When you throw that rise ball and you try to bunt it, we saw with the last hitter, she was able to pop it up. So it looks like that's what Creeley was trying to force her to do with the rise ball.
Yeah, and that time sends the ball in. So it's going to allow the bases to fill up now. And we come around to the top of the lineup now, Mackenzie Rice. And Rice able to get on earlier today as she had a single back in the top of the first inning. 1 for 1 on the afternoon. And with the bases loaded right now, all she needs to do is find a gap.
She definitely has the potential to do it. She leads the team in batting average and other categories with hits and everything else.
Great job by Avey, able to step over in as Rice couldn't quite find that gap. Avey steps over, catches the line, and is able to keep all the runners in check. Great job on defense that time by Mariah Avey, and this is going to help Creeley out just a bit. Now 2 down. Can Monticello strike again here in the second inning? Corey Parker. And a bit of a check swing that time by the third baseman. Parker batting .315 on the season. And she had the sacrifice bunt in the first inning, which was able to move Rice on around. Can't afford to have the sacrifice here. Needs to get things into play. Swings at that one, solid swing, and will go well foul.
Yeah, you can definitely tell these 2 teams just got done facing each other because there's been a lot of contact, a lot more contact in this game than there was in the last game. They're seeing a lot of pitches, fouling a lot of pitches off, putting a lot of balls in play. So you could definitely tell they know what each other has, and it's fresh on their minds, and they were able to prepare for it for this game today. So
1-2 the count now as Creeley has Parker in a bit of a hole here. 2 down. And that one outside. 2-2 the count. As we mentioned, East Central, although the 5 seed wearing the road uniforms today and the visitors on the scoreboard being the lower seed, actually took 3 of 4 against Monticello just this past weekend. And Parker gets the bat on that one. It's going to drift foul and just beyond how Clemens can reach. And Clemens went to the fence, looked like she looked like she hit the fence pretty solidly. And that's just frustration. You get over there, you get that close to it, can't quite make the catch. A wise decision to not try to dive for it that close to the fence. That could have been a massive injury. So,
but also in the same sense, I mean, it's also good for your pitcher because she can look at that in a positive way and be like, hey, I know my defense is going to go all out for me, running defenses and
that's
everything
true.
else.
That's true.
Probably definitely makes her feel better knowing her defense has her back.
Parker fouls that one back and keeps this at bat alive. 2-2 here at Bentonville West. Parker again fouls it back. Just wants to wear Creeley down, I guess, at this point. With 1 run in, Parker gets That one hit high. It's going to drift, stays fair, and the catch is made. Hyatt with a grab in left field, and that ends the threat. So East Central actually does come away a bit of a victory, holding Monticello just 1 run in the inning, as there was 1 run, 1 hit, 3 left on base, and scores 1-0. Monticello on top. Back to the 3rd inning in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
College students often talk about changing the world after they graduate. We are on a mission to do just that while still in school, applying academic excellence in our chosen areas of study in a range of undergraduate, graduate, and health science fields inspired by Christian values. Then taking those values into the world, equipped and focused on our mission to change it and ourselves for the better. Harding University.
The GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference.
Bentonville West side of this afternoon's Game 4 of the GAC softball tournament, our second game here. Joey McWilliams along with Darian Harris and the GAC crew. It's a 1-0 lead for Monticello, and Kendra Coleman back in the circle now. As for East Central, Lindsey Walker, batting 9th, will lead off the inning. It's Walker, the third baseman, batting 167 on the season. Taylor and Clemens will follow. Said last inning, 1 hit. There are actually 2 hits for Monticello. 3 left on base and just the 1 run that got across. And for Kelby Crelia, again, you have to say it's a bit of a win, because it was a tough situation to bind. Runner on third with 1 out, then runners on the corner, and eventually the bases were loaded with just the 1 out. And she was able to pick up a couple of quick outs. So what's Coleman able to do now for Monticello? Well, it's a 1-2 count now as she gets Walker behind. And Walker watches that one through as a ball. Walker, the freshman, has played in 29 games this season. This is just her 49th at bat. Counts full. And Walker gets a bat on that one, but to right field, it's going to slow up with the wind. It does just that, and the catch is made as Anderson records the out in right field. 1 down. That brings us back to the top of the order. Alyssa Taylor. And Taylor at the .401 batting average for the season. Definitely good enough to lead her team. One of the tops in the conference as well. Among those batters who have seen 50 or more games, she's number 3 in the conference, behind just Maddie Dow and Peyton Mills. And that one to left field. Catch is made. Second out is recorded as Taylor goes down. Herbner with the grab out in left field. And I say that because, you know, sometimes some of the batters haven't seen as much time, but you want to talk about a couple of big names for some hitters in the league. When you're in the same company as Alyssa Taylor is now, one of 4 batters hitting 400 or better, more than 400, along with Maddie Dow and Peyton Mills, it's not a bad company to be in.
No, it's not. I mean, that would make me feel good if if it were me. I mean, those are two hitters, Maddie Dow and Peyton Mills, that will probably never see the bench. I mean, they'll probably never come out of the lineup, and they produce. I mean, there's a reason that they're in that category and that they're leaders of it. They produce, and they produce well, and to be in that category with them is just got to make you feel good.
Clarisha Clemens for East Central batting now. She's hitting .300, which is also very good. You start getting up in the stratosphere when you start talking about that, when 4 is at the start of your batting average. Clemens on the year, 45 hits, and that one won't quite find the gap. It's corralled, and the throw is made. Clendenin to Freeman, 6-3. The top of the inning is done now, as there were no hits, no runs, nobody left on base. Monticello still leads 1-0 going to the bottom of the third. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow, because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Monticello back to bat now with a 1-0 lead. And for the Cotton Blossoms, it will be Clendenin, Coleman, and Freeman, and that one sent foul to the left field side. Again, no surprise. Flags at full extension here. Those flags just can't get much straighter than that.
Yeah, looks like they're about to fly off of the actual pole.
Well, Crelia sends that one for a ball. 1-1 the count now. Clendenin 0-1 on the afternoon. Grounded out to short. And that one's going to be a little high. 2-1 the count. You know, we talked about Coach Early, 1,167 wins for a career, and this in his 20th season with the softball team, winningest coach in the state of Arkansas. You know, many coaches may not get to coach for 1,167 games, much less win that many.
Right.
So quite an effort, and in just 20 years. There have been some pretty big numbers in the GAC over the course of this season on the baseball side, and I know we'll have the GAC baseball tournament next weekend. Coach Mike Matheny became the winningest baseball coach in all of Division II this season.
Yeah, Monticello is definitely they've had
that one's hit high, deep, and it's gone over the left field fence. And how about that? There you go. You want some quick offense? Well, that's the way to do it. As that one is out of the left of the park on the left field side. Miranda Clendenin hits her 8th home run of the season, and Monticello has now doubled its lead, up 2-0.
Not sure if that needed any help from the wind, but I mean it was hit pretty hard. But if it did at all, and
You know, that's one of those hit, too. You wonder if it's going to stay fair because of the way the wind is blowing, but you're exactly right. She hit that soundly, and it's able to just pass that fence, stays inside the foul pole, and the run scores. So Monticello now, as Coach Destiny Anderson comes out, has a conversation with Creeley and the infield once again. It's going to bring up Kendra Coleman, and now for Coleman, let me ask you this then, Darian. She feels a little bit easier now knowing that it's a 2-run advantage. I would think that helps her not only in the circle, but maybe lays back a little bit more in when she's at the plate.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She can definitely relax a little bit knowing that she has that run support from her team. And just knowing that your team has your back is just, I mean, that just helps you whenever you go out there and you can relax a little bit more in the circle.
1-1 the count.
Now, to become complacent, it's not good. They definitely shouldn't settle with just 2 runs because, as we've seen in the previous weekend against this 4 and 5 seed matchup, ECU able to score some runs off of Monticello. So they definitely should keep hammering away like they have.
That one's going to float, but it stays playable. Hamrick able to make the catch. Looked like it might drop, but it was a well-hit ball and makes it all the way back out to where Hamrick is. So 1 down in the inning as Coleman takes a seat. Kaylee Freeman up to bat now. Freeman 1 for 1 on the afternoon so far. She's batting .223 on the season. She watched a strike come across there.
A 2-run deficit for Kelby, the ECU's pitchers. Honestly, not too bad right now for as many base runners as she's had on in all of the innings. In the first inning, they stranded 1, and the second inning, they had bases loaded. And if my numbers are correct,
no,
I know
right.
They've had at least 4.
you're
just
right.
to come away with 2 runs, and especially in that bases loaded inning, and her to be able to get out of that, it's pretty good.
Creeley throws a ball that time, 1-2 the count. And that one looked like just got the top of the bat, stays fair. And Taylor able to come over, make the quick grab, step on the bag, and there's the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Jordan Herbner now. Herbner 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Yeah, sometimes you just have to trust that first thought. You were right. You're good with your numbers.
Oh, was it? Was I right?
You were right.
Okay, good. I'd like to think I've been paying attention to the game.
Herbner now batting .223 on the year.
I'm over here looking at yours like I don't have it pulled up on mine.
Same numbers right over there. That's all right. Well, either of these teams, whoever moves on from this one, of course, both teams, win or lose, will be playing again today, and that game will be at 6 o'clock. Winner will move over to the Tiger Athletic Complex on the Bentonville High campus. The loser will move over to Memorial Park across town in Bentonville. So this will be the final game at this site today. And that pitch taken for a strike. 2-2 now the count with 2 down. However, whichever one of these teams, it doesn't matter. Either team would need to win the entire tournament to receive the automatic bid to move on. Slap that to second, and there is the quick out, and that ends the inning. Allison to Taylor, the put out. Monticello gets another run on the board, and that is by way of a home run. And then with the shot to left field, 2-0 the score for Monticello with the lead. 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors. Back in a moment with the top of the 4th, the GAC softball tournament.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault. Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
So, can I see you again?
I'm free on Black Forest Ham Day.
There's a Subway 350 sub of the day to help you remember life's important days.
We got married in June.
On Tuna Day.
Every day a different 350 6-inch sub. Every day of the week. Every sub contains no artificial flavors. At just $3.50, it's a great sub at a great price.
Her name is Terry.
She was born on Sweet
Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day.
The 350 sub of the day. Every day of the week at Subway.
Elena Allison leading off the top of the fourth inning now for East Central. It'll be Allison, AV, and Crawford. And that one tipped back, 1-1 the count. Well, if you're East Central right now, and you know, you mentioned it a while ago in that the previous inning, just one run for Monticello in the third, just one run for Monticello in the second for Kelby Crelia. I mean, this is not that much to overcome. She's going to have to get some run support from her team here, and so the East Central offense, the bats really have to get going here, and I don't think that they need to wait around till the 6th and 7th inning. It needs to happen quickly.
Right. Sometimes it happens that way, though.
Well, sometimes it does. You maybe the energy builds up, but you would think at this point, you don't want to put yourself in that hole. And the pop-up down the third base side, and Parker got the glove on the ball but couldn't quite close the deal, and that's going to keep this alive for Allison, so she's going to keep it going here. Count 2-2.
Honestly, probably a play that the shortstop might have a better angle on, just because the third baseman is a little turned around and it's kind of over her head, and just as the shortstop, I think she was almost there. Looked like it.
Pretty
she
close.
She could have gotten there. Yeah, she definitely had the better read on it than the third baseman, but all in all, it was pretty good effort.
You have to spin your body around 2 or 3 times to catch the ball.
It's hard to do.
Can cause you to be disconcerted.
Especially with this wind. I mean, that if you're spinning all around and plus the ball spinning in there with you with the wind, I mean, it's not going to have a good outcome most of the time.
Count is now full, 3-2. And Allison sends it right back. Parker has a better read on that one that time, and she's able to make the throw and get the out. So Parker to Freeman is going to retire Allison. Mariah Avey, the shortstop, coming to bat now. Avey 0 for 1 on the afternoon, hitting .272 for the season. Avey, a sophomore from Perry, Oklahoma. Bat on that one. It's going to float a little bit. Herbner just walks in a little bit, makes the quick grab there. That was easily enough done. Jordan Herbner with the fly out. And 2 down now in the top of the 4th inning brings up Brescia Crawford. Crawford, another sophomore for Coach Destiny Anderson. And just down the road from Ada in Roth. And that one got the bat on it high, floating, and the catch is made. Herbner had to move a little bit more for that one, but she's able to make the catch as that one's out of bounds, or out foul. A catch made, and the inning is done. And so that was quick work for East Central. No hits, no runs, nobody left on base. Scores 2-0 Monticello. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
I knew that Arkansas Tech would help me stand out from the crowd.
But I didn't know I'd be standing out in front of the crowd.
I knew I wanted to be a part of Greek life.
But I didn't know Tech would change my life.
I knew Tech would help me become a leader.
But I didn't know Tech would lead me to graduate school.
I knew my art professors had years of experience, but I didn't know that I would get real-world experience before graduation.
It's easy to see why more than 12,000 students choose Tech. Come take a tour of campus and discover what else you don't know about Tech.
Opportunity begins here.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Seize your opportunity. Soar to new heights with our nationally accredited aviation program.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern's renowned education program has launched thousands of teaching careers.
Seize your opportunity.
From occupational safety, health, and business to behavioral and natural sciences.
Seize your opportunity.
Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
SC.edu.
Log on now
and seize your opportunity.
There you see Coach Alvy early. We've been talking about him and his impressive stature as the winningest coach now in the state of Arkansas in softball. His team's at bat right now, and swinging at that first pitch is Ashton Curry, and the catch is made. Avey steps over, and there's one down. Coach Early may have wanted to wait just a little bit longer. I don't know. You get that pitch, you got to swing at it, got to make something happen. Monticello able to put a run on the board in each of the previous two innings. Here we are on the bottom of the fourth now, and that was Curry. Here's Kalen Bullock. And Bullock lets that go through as a ball. A little bit high, a little bit to the outside. Different feel here in our second game as to where the strike zone is. A little bit of different look. That one fouled back. 1-1 now the count. Every game is different. Every strike zone is just a little bit different, but you have to get used to that, right? When you're out there playing, I mean, there's no reason to look around if you know what you're getting, especially by this time of the game, Darian. I mean, I would imagine, at this point, you know what's about to happen.
Right, yeah. I mean, sometimes you don't always agree as a hitter or a pitcher with the strikes or balls that are being called, but in the same aspect, I mean, it's kind of like weather. Everybody's got to play through it. Both teams have to go through it. So, I mean, you kind of just got to suck it up. And, I mean, there's been a lot of times where I haven't necessarily agreed with a pitch that's too far outside or too far inside or whatever, and I've just let it go. But, I mean, then the next at bat, it's just about making adjustments, and they're going to keep pitching it to you, and it's still going to be a strike no matter if you agree with it or not. So
there are 2 strikes on the board right now with 2 balls. And Bullock, the 2-2 swings and fouls it back once again. Bullock 0 for 1 on the afternoon.
I think Monticello has done a good job of adjusting against Crelia's pitching, seeing as they didn't score a run on her in the previous series against them last weekend. And then them able to come out and get 2 today within the first few innings is a pretty big adjustment on their part.
Now Bullock sent that to right field, and Clemens was able to step in and make the catch. And I agree with you. I mean, it's more than just a moral victory at this point. I mean, you're putting yourself to get the actual victory there, but to know that you can get some runs off of her is a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost like they did their homework, but I mean, I know it's still fresh on their mind since they did play them 4 games last weekend, but them facing Crelia twice and not being able to score a run off of her, and then being able to score 2 in today's game, you can definitely tell they were able to prepare for her this week. They probably knew exactly who they were going to throw, and they were able to adjust pretty well.
Bolter, a sophomore, and she has a 1-2 count, facing that right now. Walked in her first at bat back in the second inning. And watches that one go across as a ball. 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 balls as well. You see the clouds here. Just an absolutely wonderful day. That one outside brings the count full with 2 outs. Bolter trying to make something happen here as Rice, the top of the order. After her, Bolter hits that one right back to Taylor. Steps on the bag, and the half inning is done. We're midway through this one, and Monticello has a 2-0 lead. And we'll be back in a moment here on the GAC Sports Network.
Southern Nazarene University was just ranked the best college in the state of Oklahoma by Money Magazine. That's big news, but it's not a surprise to us. Money ranks SNU as one of the top 50 colleges you can actually get into, and in the top 50 most affordable private colleges in the nation. Why travel when Southern Nazarene University is right here in Bethany, Oklahoma? Inspired academic excellence in a success-driven environment. Southern Nazarene University, the best college in Oklahoma.
With the $3.50 sub of the day at Subway, there's never been a better time to try something deliciously different. Because every day of the week, you can now get a featured 6-inch Subway sub for just $3.50. So mix up your lunchtime routine and treat yourself to the endless flavor combinations at Subway. The $3.50 sub of the day. We took an already great lineup and made it even better. A better price, great taste, and no artificial flavors. The $3.50 sub of the day, only at Subway.
College is my time to find myself and start my future. That's why I chose SWASU. Going up!
15 nationally accredited academic programs and nearly 100 clubs, all for me.
Thanks to this state-of-the-art nursing lab, he'll be better in no time.
And our brand new Pioneer Cellular Event Center for sports, concerts, and cool events.
All for me!
Oh, it's for me, it's for me.
SWASU, the focus is you.
Andrea Hambrick leading off for East Central here. In the top of the 5th, it'll be Hamrick, Heron, and Hyatt. A little alliteration there for our lineup. Hamrick, a redshirt sophomore, as she is from Henrietta, Oklahoma. Actually spent a year with University of Tulsa University D1 program on their track and field team. She played basketball in high school as well, so she's multi-sport athlete and in the conference tournament here today in the Division II level in softball. Hammer gets that as the infield is stepped in. The throw is made from Clendenin to Freeman, and that's out number 1. Well, you talk about doing the homework there, Darian, a little earlier. You know your opponent, and that one laid down. Clendenin able to step up and get the easy out.
Yeah, it looked like all the infielders and the defense were playing in on her, seeing as she is a little lefty slapper, so she probably didn't do too much damage, burning the defense over their heads. So you can tell they definitely prepared for that.
Nikki Heron batting now. Heron had a single back in the 2nd inning, and she's 1 for 1 on the afternoon. Hitting .306 on the year, fouls that one near the dugout of Monticello. One of the assistant coaches over there. You know, sometimes sitting on that bucket can be dangerous.
Oh, that's very dangerous. There's no way. I mean, you have to be on your toes. You have to have heads up the whole time. I've seen a bunch of balls get laced over towards whoever's sitting on the dugout. We call it the ugly finder. Whoever's sitting there, you're always going to get hit at least once a season if you're sitting on the bucket. It's just given. It's just
see, that's standard softball furniture, right?
Yeah.
That's the bucket. And Coleman's going to sort things out here now. Count 1 and 2. And that time it's a hit batter. Heron turns around, takes that in the back of one of her legs, and she'll take first base. So Heron now has been able to reach on each of her opportunities so far. It's going to bring up now Haley Hyatt. Hyatt batting 177 on the year. She's 0 for 1 on the day as she grounded out to third a little earlier. Hyatt, a senior from Denison, Texas. Transferred from Arizona Western College. She was able to help her team advance to the Junior College Nationals. Coach Anderson with a little bit of instruction now for Hyatt, so she'll step up once again. And puts that up and just foul. And that time maybe a little bit dangerous. Parker stepped in. She was definitely preparing for the bunt, and she was well in. Had that ball stayed fair, it would have dropped nicely, but once again, wind assisted. That one may have gone foul anyway, but still, the wind didn't help. Heron on first with one down, 0-2 the count. And Hyatt also fouls that one.
You can definitely tell that Kendra Coleman seems to trust her defense a lot, because we've talked about how the wind's blowing towards left field, and we've seen a lot of balls get lifted out there to Monticello's left fielder, and she's been staying away from the lefty hitters for the most part, and she hasn't been afraid to come in to the righty hitters. Looks like she has a lot of trust for her defense out there.
Parker over to Freeman, and the out at first will mean 2 down in the inning. And it brings up Lindsey Walker. Walker, the third baseman. Walker also 0 for 1 on the afternoon. And, you know, also, I mean, you watch the field shrink too, Darian, with batters like Hyatt like that. She's had just 14 hits on the season prior to this one. Only one double and no extra base hits beyond that. The field's able to shrink just a little bit, and it helps the defense somewhat.
Right. I mean, with numbers like that, and especially from what Monticello has seen from her last weekend, I mean, you got to just basically you got to play in until she burns you, like make her burn you. And obviously she hadn't done it yet, and which is why they were all playing in on her. And so
a little conversation now. Coleman has looked good thus far. And she hasn't, she's given up only 2 hits, but, you know, even in that, after the performance that we saw in the previous game with all the strikeouts, and looking at here right now, and she's not had a strikeout this afternoon. Now, the flip side of that is she's also not given up a walk as well, given up only 2 hits. So it's been a solid defensive effort from the Blossoms this afternoon.
yeah, I'd say Monticello and Kendra Coleman in the circle, they've done a pretty good job. I mean, I think ECU has had runners on every inning, almost every inning, if not every inning. And they've been able to work out East Central has had runners on every inning. And they've been able to work out of it pretty well. And Kendra Coleman, I don't think that – she's always been a pretty solid pitcher. I don't think that she could have asked for a better senior year. Ranks in the top 5 in 5 different categories of pitching-wise in the GAC, and posting second in the GAC and lowest ERA. So I think that she's done a pretty good job in the circle for Monticello.
Well, a solid hit that time by Walker, but it did go foul. And so with 2 down, 2-2 the count, she gets one more opportunity here. That has been a good season for Coleman. Her ERA now 1.56. Walker keeps the at-bat alive. You may even be able to, through our microphones every now and again, hear the wind.
Might just be me breathing. Were you breathing?
Well, that could be the case, too. I wouldn't doubt that this afternoon. Time called, but pitch came through anyway. I want to see this as 63 degrees outside here in Bentonville. It does not feel like 63 degrees by any stretch. Talk about a beautiful day. Beautiful ride over here. This is my first opportunity to come to these facilities here at Bentonville West. Been at the other campus before, and I mean, just a nice view, nice drive to get here. Great campus and great facilities.
Yeah, normally in my drive up here, when I'm on the when I was playing and I was on the bus, I was always sleeping for the 6 hours. So my drive, I actually had to stay awake, obviously, because I was driving here, and it was very pretty.
It is. It's nice. From the other facilities I mentioned over at Bentonville, Tiger Athletic Complex, Harding on top of Ouachita right now, 3-0 in the top of the 5th. Harding looking for win number 51 on the year. Number 2 team in the country is Walker. Keeps that one fair, but it goes right to Rice, over to Freeman. There's the out 4-3, and the top half of the 5th inning is done. No hits, no runs, nobody. One left on base, and it's still 2-0 Monticello. Back in the moment at the bottom of the 5th on the GAC Sports Network.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
For me, that meant that I could afford to go to college. When I was considering colleges, it was important to find one that my parents and I could afford.
So I was happy to find that I could attend the University of Arkansas at Monticello at one of the lowest costs of any four-year college in the state. Affordability, tradition, a great college experience.
It all comes together here at UAM.
At the University of Arkansas at Monticello, yes you can.
I knew Arkansas Tech had an impressive history,
but I didn't know that my professors would look out for my future.
I knew I'd be throwing fastballs on the field, but I didn't know I'd be on the fast track to physical therapy school.
I knew my art professors had years of experience, but I didn't know that I would get real-world experience before graduation.
I knew Tech was close to home,
but I didn't know it would feel like home.
Tech has one of the highest graduation rates in the state. Come take a tour of campus and discover what else you don't know about Tech.
Well, Monticello able to pick up a run in the second, a run in the third. Trying to see if they can get one here in the 5th. The 2 runs right now enough for Kendra Coleman and Kelby Crelia in the circle for East Central. She's given up only those 2. It's been a good afternoon, but going to have to get some support from her team, but she's got to get out of this inning to get to the next opportunity for the Tigers. Gets a strike there, 0-2 now. Nice look is Mackenzie Rice at bat for Monticello. Rice 1 for 2 in the afternoon. She had the single to open the game, and she lined out to the shortstop in the second inning. Rice reaches for that one, and it does find the gap to right field. And Mackenzie Rice with another single, leading off for the Cotton Blossoms. And that will bring up Corey Parker.
Rice is really just the epitome of a leadoff hitter. I mean, she there's a reason she's there. Everybody's in the lineup for a reason, and everybody's in the spot they're in for a reason. And I mean, you can definitely tell that Mackenzie Rice belongs in the leadoff spot. I mean, she just does a really good job of seeing a lot of pitches for the hitters behind her and is able to go up there with a plan, and she, to me, in my opinion, executes very well.
Well, she's on base again. And Parker now 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Wants to move her around. She did back in the first inning with a sacrifice bunt. Right now looks to be swinging.
They may not need a sacrifice bunt. Mackenzie Rice looks like she has some speed. 15 stolen bases on the year. She's the only one in double digits. So she may try to get her a free base over there.
Yeah, has the wheels anyway.
Yeah.
That one fouled back. 2 and 1.
Why waste snap bat anyway?
Oh, no.
If you got the speed.
That's right. Parker lets that one go, and it's 3-1. And Parker will go ahead and take a free trip to first base. The senior from Benton has runners now at first and second base. And Miranda Clendenin back to bat. Clendenin 1 for 2 on the afternoon. That one was a big one. The home run to left field. She has 2 on now to work with. Allows that one to come across as a strike. Pretty good class of softball players from the state of Arkansas this past season. Lots of good freshmen all around the state. And Clendenin from Greenbrier played in the state championship game last season. Now playing on the Division II level. Lets that one come across as a ball again.
It's good to get these freshmen in that have already been on the big stage. Like you talked about Clendenin playing in the state championship. I mean, that's a huge stage in itself, and I mean, that probably part of the reason why she's been so successful here at the Division II level. She's already been at the big stage, and she probably has a little confidence going into playing in college.
Now the comeback there, the fielder's choice, as Rice is out at third, 1 down, and it brings up Coleman once again. Kendra Coleman, 0 for 2 on the afternoon, hitting .288 on the year. But she's done her part in the place that Coach Early needs her today, and that's been in the circle. Well, the Tigers scoreless so far through the first 5.
Sometimes I wonder if, I don't know, I'd like to think if Kendra Coleman, you know, if she goes up to the plate and thinks, because she's a hitter and a pitcher, so if she goes up to the plate and wonders or thinks that she needs help with an additional, you know, if she's trying to score an extra run or plate an extra run or two in this at bat, if she feels comfortable with just 2 runs, if she feels comfortable enough in her pitching and her defense, if she's trying to score those runs or if she's content with it.
As she swings at that one, there's the miss. She strikes out swinging, and she's 0 for 3 now on the afternoon. It brings up Freeman as Kaylee Freeman, 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Do you put that extra pressure on yourself as a pitcher? Think you just enough, or do I have to make something happen? Now she's definitely going to have to depend on her team now. The strikeout, she'll have a chance to watch this one from the bench for a moment as Freeman's up. Bat on that one, near the tip, goes right to second, and Allison over to Taylor puts an end to the threat for Monticello. There were no runs, 1 hit, and a couple left on base. Score still 2-0 after 5 complete. Back in the moment of the GAC softball tournament here on the GAC Sports Network.
Here's Lindsey Duncan. I knew Arkansas Tech had an impressive history,
but I didn't know that my professors would look out for my future.
I knew I'd be throwing fastballs on the field, but I didn't know I'd be on the fast track to physical therapy school.
I knew my art professors had years of experience, but I didn't know that I would get real-world experience before graduation.
I knew Tech was close to home,
but I didn't know it would feel like home.
Tech has one of the highest graduation rates in the state. Come take a tour of campus and discover what else you don't know about Tech.
College students often talk about changing the world after they graduate. We are on a mission to do just that while still in school, applying academic excellence in our chosen areas of study in a range of undergraduate, graduate, and health science fields inspired by Christian values. Then taking those values into the world, equipped and focused on our mission to change it and ourselves for the better. Harding University.
Two nothing as Monticello brings Coleman back out. Top of the sixth, where at the other facility, it's the bottom of the fourth now, and Harding has a 3-0 lead over Ouachita still. And we actually have an update even as we're sitting here. That fourth inning is over. We're headed to the top of the fifth. 4 complete. Harding on top 3-0 here. 5 complete as we're just about, and we are now underway here in the 6th inning. Monticello on top 2-0. Home run from Miranda Clendenin, to add to a lead. At the not the Boll Weevils, excuse me. Cotton Blossoms already had. I think, and honestly, in my defense, in saying Boll Weevils, as that one is not going to find the gap. Clendenin, I just mentioned her. She has the home run, and now she has a great stab at the ball, and the throw to first is in time. So 1 out recorded here for Monticello, and it's going to be Clemens coming to bat for East Central. In saying that, though, and saying Boll Weevils as opposed to Cotton Blossoms, I'd say that's better. I've heard Cotton Blossoms messed up in many, many worse ways than that. So just leave it at that.
I think the GAC has, they got to rank somewhere in the top in Division II or just in general in the nation of.
With great nicknames.
Yeah, the interesting mascots that we have. It's insane. I never heard of any of them till I played in the conference.
Well, Clemens gets that one high, and Herbner, who's been very active in this game in left field, and you might imagine with the way the wind's been blowing today that she was going to get a chance to have some fun out there, and I think she's done just that. The fly ball, and Clarisha Clemens will take a seat now. Elena Allison coming to bat. Allison swings on the first pitch, and it finds the gap into right field. She'll reach base safely, and East Central now, with 2 outs, gets a runner on base. Just when you think that this game is really taking a turn Monticello's direction, Allison able to reach base, and now Mariah Avey at bat. And well, it looks, at least from this inning, maybe a bit of a change offensively, Darian, because lots of swinging on that first pitch now.
Right, yeah. After we talked about it earlier, after about the first time through, you got to start making an adjustment. If things aren't working, you're not scoring any runs, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. And that's the good thing about ECU, them being able to make an adjustment this round.
Mel Avey grounds out to short, and the half inning is done now. Monticello back-to-back quickly. 2-0 the lead here, going to the bottom of the 6th on the GAC Sports Network.
The GAC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the Great American Conference.
What makes Henderson a better choice in education? Is it the campus or the buildings? Is it class size or professors with PhDs? Is it the cost, the value? What is it about Henderson?
It's me.
A strong educational foundation from Henderson put Richard Jacobs on the road to becoming a doctor. Today, he's at the forefront of pediatric research and care. Henderson prepares today's students for tomorrow, because what counts is what you become. Henderson State University.
Well, the bottom of the 6th inning now just set to get underway. Kelby Crelia is going to be facing Jordan Herbner, Ashton Curry, and Kaylin Bolick to get things going. Herbner 0 for 2 on the afternoon. She's definitely done her job, though, in the field.
I'd say so. She's definitely getting some action out there in left field.
Crelia with 1 strikeout in the afternoon. She's walked a couple of them, and Herbner swings quickly at that one to right field. It's going to drift foul, and it's not playable. That's a tough place to try to get the ball deep in any way, shape, or form. Clemens couldn't quite chase it down. Looked like that she had the area secured, but that one went foul. And so the left-handed batter, Herbner, going to get another chance as soon as Clemens gets through tying her shoe in right field.
Yeah, we talked about it being just a 2-run game, and it's kind of eye-opening for it to just be a 2-run game, as Crelia was able to pitch through a few innings where UAM left 6 runners on base in all 5 innings that they've been up to bat. So for it to just be a 2-run game, that's pretty huge.
And she's done her part, and once again, almost the same exact place in the right field side going foul. Herbner hit that again, so 2 pitches. She swung pretty strongly both times. That one, and goes the opposite field, and it will go foul the other way. 0-2 still the count now. Crelia sends that one a little bit outside. And a roster check as Henderson may try to chase this one down. She will. Doesn't have to move too far from that, as Carly Henderson had checked in for Clemens in right field. And Henderson is able to record the out. Recently won the George Nye Award for East Central, one of the top players. And a senior for Coach Destiny Anderson. She's able to make the grab there. 1 down. Brings us back to Ashton Curry. Curry fouls that one.
One thing we've seen a lot from both of these pitchers is we've seen them work the zone in and out. I mean, they really are unpredictable. I mean, there hasn't been an inning where I can just sit here and watch and just pick up exactly what pitch they're going to throw and whatever time. And we've seen balls go to left field. We've seen a lot of balls go to right field. Foul or fair, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're just hitting line to line, and that's something that's good. That's an advantage in a way for both pitchers, because for them to be able to stay unpredictable and keep the hitters on their toes and keep them guessing, that's part of the reason why it's just a 2-run ball game and not more than that.
And we're seeing what you're talking about right now is each of the previous batters, this one and in Curry and Herbner coming up before that. They're mixing things up, sending it both directions.
Yeah, and from a hitter standpoint, you kind of just got to go up there with the plan. I mean, you know they're working you in and out, and you really can't pinpoint exactly what she's throwing you, if she's going to throw you in one at bat or if she's going to throw you away. I mean, you just got to go up there and be like, okay, I'm going to let this pitch go, and I'm just going to sit up there until I get this one. And if you don't get it till you get 2 strikes, then that's when you battle. I mean, it's better to just go up there with the plan than just to guess.
Well, the plan that time didn't work out for Curry as she strikes out swinging. Now 2 down for Kelby Crelia. And that is just her 2nd strikeout of the afternoon. Giving up only 2 walks as well.
Now, Crelia, not really a huge strikeout hitter, or strikeout pitcher, excuse me. She has 76 on the year. Well, now 78 with these 2 in this game. And on the flip side, Kendra Coleman has almost doubles or does double her strikeout numbers with 169. So Correlia seems to pitch a little more to contact and just try to make the hitters get themselves out, or her defense work for her behind her. And, I mean, that's been pretty successful for her this year.
Yeah, really. I mean, you know, they manufacture a run, but then the home run, as that time Bolick finds a gap between short and third, and she's able to reach base with 2 outs. Clendenin's home run, really the only big mistake that's been given up today from Correlia.
Yeah, and you're going to have those mistakes. I mean, not everyone's going to be perfect every game. I mean, you do have some times where you get a perfect game, and that's not too often. But also, you have to have your offense work for you behind you, and that's something that ECU has struggled with a little bit in this game, and they need to help their pitcher out a little bit, because they have been able to get out a few innings where they've stranded a lot of base runners. I think I said 6 already, and that's huge. And to be able to get out of that should just be able to carry over an offense and want to help your pitcher out to score.
Kaylee Bolter batting now for Monticello. Bolter 0 for 1 on the afternoon. Has a runner on. Monticello on the day so far 1 for 10 with runners on. And throwback to first. Well, we haven't seen that much today. Looked like maybe just a little bit too much of a lead there. And by the way, looking over at first, that's Skylar Anderson, who is the runner in for Monticello. Let's have him come through for a ball, does Bolter, and now it's a 3-1 count. Skylar Anderson, a junior from Foreman, Arkansas. And Bolter gets the bat on that one. It's going to go high. It's going to stay in the infield. And the catch is made by Taylor. There's the out. And that's the end of the inning. 6 complete. Monticello still with a 2-0 advantage. East Central with one more opportunity in the top of the 7th. Back in a moment on the GAC Sports Network.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
In any way that we can.
To get a friend home safe.
To never blame the victim.
It's on us.
To stand up.
To make our community safe for all.
It's on us.
It's on us to look out for each other at parties.
It's on us.
To be more than just a bystander.
To step up and say something.
It's on us, all of us.
To stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
So, can I see you again?
I'm free on Black Forest Ham Day.
There's a Subway 350 sub of the day to help you remember life's important days.
We got married in June.
On Tuna Day.
Every day a different 350 6-inch sub. Every day of the week. Every sub contains no artificial flavors. At just $3.50, it's a great sub at a great price.
Her name is Terry.
She was born on Sweet
Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day.
The 350 sub of the day. Every day of the week at Subway.
Top of the 7th, just about to get underway now, and it's going to be Crawford batting for East Central. Crawford 0 for 2, swings at that one, and it's tipped foul here at Bentonville West Facilities, the home of the Wolverines. And we've been treated very well here today. Nice facilities, nice folks around. And comebacker right to Coleman. Toss over to first. And the out is recorded. 1 down now for East Central. Now, Monticello leading in this one. And right now, top seeds are holding serve as Harding is winning at the other facility. Harding, the top seed, looking for win number 51 of the season over Ouachita. It was 3-0 in the 6th inning just a moment ago. Meanwhile, the number 2 seed Southern Arkansas defeated 7th seeded Henderson State 7-2. And the 3rd seed, Arkansas Tech, took down 6th seeded Southern Nazarene 2-0, as was here. So the 4th seed trying to complete the deal, at least in the opening round games. The top seed, or the higher seed, winning, stepping over. Freeman got a hand on the ball, but she couldn't get it out of her glove in time. And so Hamrick is able to get to first base.
Yeah, that might be the breakthrough that ECU needs to get on the board right here and post a threat.
That brings up Nikki Herron, the designated hitter, with 1 down. And Herron fouls that one behind the press box here. As we sort things out up here. Watches that one through for a strike. Runner on. And Herron represents the game tying run. She's going to have to get there. 0-2 now, the count. Swings on that one. It's going to stay fair, and the catch is made. Anderson coming in for the catch there. 2 down. And Monticello starting to feel this one. Again, not an elimination game. Both these teams will be playing at 6 o'clock tonight. It just depends on which field. And Haley Hyatt back up for East Central. Hyatt 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Showing bunt, and then slaps at that when it goes foul. Now you see him showing bunt there with 2 down in what could be the final inning and possible final at bat. And that may be a rarity if that was actually converted as such.
Right. Sometimes it looks like with her being as little and as fast as she is, probably her strength, and she's probably just looking for a way to find herself on base.
Now Parker picks it up quickly, the throw to first in time, and this one is done. This score identical to the score of our first contest here this morning, 2-0, and the higher seed won. Arkansas-Monticello will move on in the winner's bracket with the 2-0 lead and face the winner of Harding and Ouachita, and Harding was ahead in that just a few moments ago as East Central drops to the loser's bracket and will face the loser of that game, both those games at 6 o'clock this evening. I want to say thanks to all of you for watching today as we've enjoyed our time here at Bentonville West. For Darian Harris, for Jason Moyer, and for Camry, Yoshi, Dallas, and the entirety of our GAC crew here in the Bentonville West Side. I'm Joey McWilliams. Thanks again for watching. 2-0 the final. Monticello wins. Keep it right here on the GAC Sports Network.